Hi everybody, welcome to a very special video. The fam went to Southern California for some stuff, and of course I brought my skate gear so that I could skate in sort of a place of like a pilgrimage, because the skate parks in Southern California are so good. And so I'm going to take you to a few parks that I had a good time at. The first day I skated, I wanted to go to John Landis Park here. I've seen this in a few videos from YouTubers that make some videos down in Southern California, and it's a really cool park in the sense that it's like super minimalistic. There's not much here, but it's like everything you need. It has a flat bar, it has a low ledge, and it has a high ledge. What else do I need? I can have fun on this all day long, and it has good smooth concrete, a little bit of roughness to it so it's not too slick, and you can just ride around here all day and play on these couple of elements. And so I got started there with the flat bar and then moved to this low ledge. Had a really good time on this low ledge because I think it's about 8 inches high, which is a great height for me. I was working on trying to get a crook on it, and I was struggling a little bit with the height and the slipperiness of it. I had to wax it a bunch to make sure that my crooked grind would go through it. But I'm just kind of messing around, warming up, and then I came back to the flat bar again after having gotten some board slides to warm up. And the thing I've been doing at home lately is the wheelie grind on my home rail, and I wanted to bring it here, but it was way harder because this rail is taller than mine. I think this rail's 14 inches and mine at home is about 11. So that difference right there kind of threw me. The rail is also way more slippery than mine at home. That's a good thing. I like slick elements most of the time, but I was having a hard time adjusting to this rail. So I decided to change things up a little bit. I wanted to get a really long board slide on it, the long board slide challenge. I finally got one, but it took a lot more tries than I showed you there, but it was still nice to get. So I went back to the Willy just to see what I could do, and I finally got one that's really janky. It was like a Willy into a board slide out to fakie, but we're going to take it because at least I got one. Then I think what I'm most proud of at this park was over here at the low ledge. I went in first with a backside 50-50. This is all in a line, by the way, but it's edited down just to speed things up a little bit. And then front nose, and then I'm going to come back at it with an attempt at the crooked grind, and I finally got one, and it's actually really clean, so I was super psyched, and I was like, okay, keep it going, see what I can do with the line. And then it's front side 50-50, and we're still on this streak, so I'm going to come at it again with a pretty good back nose slide. I don't do those as well normally. And then even a little bit of a nollie tail first try. I hadn't even tried that this day. Came back at it for a seventh trick. Couldn't get the fakie 50-50, but I was psyched that I got 6 different grinds in a row. That was really cool. So the next day we're going to Poods or Encinitas skate park, and this is probably my favorite skate park of all time. I came here last year and I was just amazed at how fun it was and how good the elements were for the things that I like to do. This is a spot last year I never got this. I wanted to do a back 50 and come off this high drop. It's about 2 feet down. So for me and my old knees, that's pretty good, right? That's pretty big. And so I figured this year I'm going to persevere at it, see if I can make it all the way out. Finally did get one that was pretty clean. This spot in the park is my favorite area. There's this low ledge. Again, it's about 8 inches. Maybe it's 7.5 or something like that. It's super comfortable. I really love this ledge. It's similar to my little box in the garage, a little higher, but I love that. There's a number of these ledges around the park at different heights and different positions. And this one I wanted to get a back 50 with a shove out. And I think this last one is pretty clean. I didn't capture it in the camera that well. It's a little harder to shoot skateboarding stuff out here, especially since I'm by myself. I wanted to level up and go for this ledge. I think it's maybe a little bit over a foot or right around a foot. I got some frontside 50s on it that were okay, and then I had that fall, a little comic relief there. I was fine. It was just a stupid fall. That ledge was really, really greasy, nice and slick, which is good, but when you miss your lock-in, it can be bad. I almost had a good one there, but when I landed on the pavement there, I actually slipped out. The pavement here at Poods is so slippery. Sometimes my wheels just slide. Made it through this corner section, this 45-degree corner with a frontside 50. That one back there was first try. This is like third try, made it through the corner, came out decently. I was really psyched on that because I don't think I've done very many corners. I've done curves, but not like hard corners. And I'm going back to my favorite spot. I just love this ledge, and the flat bar is over there, which is again about a 14-inch flat bar, a touch bigger than I'm used to. I did try some wheelie grinds on that rail. I wanted to do them here, but just could never really dial it in for some reason with that higher rail. I messed around on this ledge a lot. You're gonna see a lot more of it. And trying all sorts of different things that I've done in the past. I'm trying nose grinds here, both backside and front side, going back and forth. Never really got a clean one on that day. And there you can tell by the outfit change. This is another day. This is the next day. I think this is my third day skating. I was taking it a little bit easier on this day because on that first day I had a cramp in my right calf, and so I couldn't really push very well. I actually ended up during the day pushing switch mongo a lot. Another good fall. I'm fine, but you can see how slippery the pavement here is at Poods. I am not used to that. I'm used to grippy concrete, not that really slippery stuff. But I'm still having tons of fun, just still enjoying board slides on this rail. Since board slides are basically what I can do. I got a number of times here back to back, going from backboard and then coming back the other way and doing front board. So here I'm going to get ready for something that was sort of a quest for me. I was like, you know what? I really want to do crooked grinds here at Poods. I know it's going to be a good spot. I had to wax up this ledge to make sure that I could slide it, but I started locking in pretty quickly. There was a bunch of tries where I had to kind of dial in speed and angle and everything that I wanted to do, but then once I found it, I was starting to lock these in and having some good slides and some good exits. But they weren't all perfect. There were a lot of them that did that, where the board kind of rolls out and where I wasn't exiting properly. Someday I am going to talk about that in a video about the crooked grind, but there was a nice clean exit. And I think this is the best crook I had on this day. I was trying to get more length, trying to hop on the ledge sooner and slide it all the way to the end. And those feel amazing. I love a long crooked grind. It's one of the best things I think I can do in skateboarding. That one had a pivot out, which is still great. And I like having the variation and the variety there and being able to do both. I love it. So this is just kind of a little two trick line. And I come back and I'm like, I haven't done a kickflip today. And somehow I come out with one of the best kickflips maybe that I've done. The landing isn't the best, but the pop and the catch. Oof, look at that, up in the air, and a pretty good amount for me because you guys know how ugly my kickflips can be. So yeah, we're definitely taking that one. This one here is, that's right, it's like an accidental wheelie grind. My balance was off, but I rode away from it. Then I wanted to come at it fakie because I like fakie frontside 50-50. But for whatever reason, maybe it's because I waxed up the ledge, I could not get this to lock in with any good, stable balance. Like I could sometimes get the grind in and then I couldn't get an exit, whether that be a pivot out or trying to just come out fakie again. I never really locked in on it. I think I got one, and it wasn't really all that clean. And I was kind of surprised. I was thinking, oh, you know what? I'll do really fast. I'll do a fakie 50-50 and then that'll be easy and we'll be done with it. And I ended up battling it for a little while because I was frustrated by the fact that it was taking so long and was so difficult. I think that was the closest I got to actually getting one right there. Then I wanted to dabble with something I've been dreaming about for a while. I want to do a back 50, and one of these days when I come off the end of a ledge, I would love to do something out like a kickflip. And there I actually did get some pop off the ledge. That's cool. And here I'm just messing around with trying to adjust my feet while I'm on the ledge. And this is something that could be a long-term goal, but I'm just, again, playing with it. It's so hard to adjust your feet and maintain a 50-50 grind because it wants to slip out. So maybe someday we'll get closer to actually making that happen. And then as I was finishing up my session, I wanted to do some manuals because I was getting tired, and manuals are a little less demanding. I don't have to like be as precise and lock everything in. So I got one across that lowest mani pad and then back to this one. I'm just pleased that I'm getting a nose manual on something higher than my normal mani pad at my home skate park. And this is, you know, significantly higher by a handful of inches. And so I can get a nose manual up there and balance it and get it to come out fairly clean. I tried to get that nollie front shove out a number of times and I never got one. So the next day, we're back again, and I wanted to play around on the two-stair. I got the ollie, and then last year I did a kickflip on this two-stair, and I wanted to get it again. I never did get it, but I got a couple really good pops, and if I would have tucked my legs a little bit longer, some of these would have been possible. But it just never really clicked into place, and I didn't want to battle it that long because I'm jumping down stuff. But then speaking of jumping down stuff, I've never used this pyramid ledge before, and so I just wanted to do an ollie up, and I was thinking about just lifting and doing a manual down, but doing a manual and then dropping off something that's about 2 feet, maybe a little over 2 feet tall, had me freaking out. It was a lot harder than I expected. I was like, I'll just manual off, it'll be easy. It was not. It was this weird mental battle about doing a manual and then seeing that drop in front of me, because you guys know I don't do drops all that often, but I'm glad I persevered on this one. Finally got one that was clean. That doesn't look like much, but that was a pretty big accomplishment. And then I can't help myself. I go back to the best ledge ever and get a back 50 to kind of warm up. And then I waxed it up again, go back into crooks because they just feel so good. And this is the height of ledge I should be working on so that I can eventually build up to something even bigger one of these days. Maybe get up to a 10 or a 12-inch ledge with a crook. That would be like the dream. And sometimes when I lock into crooks, I kind of overcook it and I get the wrong wheel to lock in. I get the toe side wheel to lock, and I'm like, well, let's actually work on some nose grinds. And I got a couple. I think that was the cleanest one I got. They weren't great, but they were okay. Then I wanted to work on this hip because it's a 45-degree angle hip, but it's a lot steeper than the one I have at home. So my ollies here are a little weak because I'm pretty scared of the steepness. It's a different feel. I didn't do too horribly, but I definitely don't have any pop like I can get on my local one. But we got some back 180s and some half cabs, so we'll take those. Then back to the flat bar for another back-to-back backboard slide, and then come back the other direction with a front board. It's really nice to be able to get those back-to-back, and I think throughout this trip I got that combo a bunch of times, which always feels good. One of the things I love about this skate park is how many little ledges and things there are and how creative you can get. I was trying to nose manual and I wanted to go all the way to that other ledge where you can do a ride-on grind. I never really connected it, but it was still fun to try. And then we're doing yet again some more crooked grinds. Not all of them were perfect. We ended up doing things like that. But I'm really glad through all the falls that I took during this trip, I never actually got hurt. I did spend some time with nollie tail on this ledge. I can't get that long grind that I was looking for, but I did get a bunch of them successfully. And then trying to get just a nice long crook at the end there. Then my last day of skating was at Alga Norte skate park. I've never been here before. I've never been here in the past, so I wanted to go check it out. I kind of knew that everything was a little bit bigger here, like the ledges, the size of the ledges. There's no really short ones except for one particular little spot. Has a flat bar, but it does have still a lot of good opportunities for me to try things that I've been working on lately. There's the tiny ledge right there. And then this drops off right here. I was kind of surprised there was no ramp in that section, but that was fine. It's a really good park. Again, pretty smooth concrete, maybe not as slippery as at Poods. And then if you go around this section, there are two big bowls over here. If you're a bowl skater, this would be a really good place to go. It was too much for me. I haven't skated bowls in a long time. There's a pool style one and then this other one, and it's pretty deep. I think the shallow end was 8 feet. So I was like, not with the setup that I have right now. I'm not set up for bowl skating. But I got warmed up on the tiny ledge, and this ledge is about the same height as the one at my local skate park. And I wish my local skate park had done this and actually put iron on the corner, because this was so good. I locked into a couple of good 5.0s like that one, and that felt really good. I'm used to trying to make those happen on concrete and not metal, and then just a little front 50. So just some nice little light warm-ups there until I moved up to some higher ledges. I did end up getting grinds on the higher ledges, but they are definitely more of a challenge, take a lot more tries. I like this curved section, got an okay front 50 there. I wish it was a little cleaner than that, but I'll take what I can get. Then for a good while, I battled nollie tail on this and never really got one. For some reason, it was the height. Maybe it's the fact that it's curved too. I felt like the curve was going to help me, but obviously it never did. And I was a little frustrated by the fact that I couldn't get this trick, because I know I've done it before on a ledge of similar heights, so I don't know why that wasn't working. So then I went over to the straight side, back 50 there with like a little tail tap out because I was going kind of slow. And I really wanted a crooked grind on this. And these are only the ones that I locked in decently, and I couldn't ride it out. But locking in on this, for some reason, again, it's the height. It's a mental problem for me. Messes up my attempts to get grinds to lock in when I have higher ledges. That one was so close, and then I stepped out, did not quite have the balance. And I think I battled this longer than I should have, because, you know, you get tired and there's definitely a fatigue factor when you try stuff over and over and over again. So I finally did convince myself to move on. We got to try the flat bar a little bit. That was first try, just a testing out board slide, kind of slow, just at the end of the rail to see what it feels like. Then I wanted to go for some more length, and we're doing that long board slide challenge again. This last one, I think I got 3/4 of that rail, and it's a long rail, so I was happy to get that. Then those of you that know me know that I don't do a lot of gaps or big drops or other stuff like that. And for some reason, I just had this compulsion to try this gap. I don't do gaps. And I was like, I wonder if I can do it. It doesn't look, the angles look good. All I need is like the speed and like a halfway decent ollie, and I can probably make this. It took a bunch of tries to figure out how to get the speed, where to start. I was running in from out there on the side of the park. I think I could have maybe dropped in on a quarter pipe that's over there, but it didn't feel right. The timing was too fast. I wanted to have enough time out there with the run in. Finally, I actually did ollie over the gap. Hooray! But that gave me like the flow and the fuel to be like, okay, wait, I can do more. So there's a 3-stair over here, and they're long stairs. I was like, but it's only a 3. I can do a 3-stair. And on second try there, I sent it, but I didn't land it. And then another one where I miss, and then I do get a land, and it felt good. Like, it feels kind of fast for me because I'm not used to that kind of having to cover a 3-stair like that. So that was good. So then from there, there's this marble ledge, and I was like, well, I can easily lock a back 50 into that ledge. The height is not the problem. It's the fact that there's stairs there. And after not too many tries, I found the angle and the speed that I wanted, and ended up getting the grind all the way across, and then finally off of it to get a landing as well. And I'm really psyched on that one. I think that one's a pretty big accomplishment for me. And just to show how high it is, it's exactly as high as my wheels when I set my board up against it. And as if that wasn't enough, then I start eyeballing the 4-stair that's up from there. And the good thing about the 4-stair was the stairs were not as long. So I was like, you know what? It's not much higher, but it doesn't have all that length. So let's give this a look. So here's 2 run-ups just to kind of see, okay, I think I've got the speed. I think I can make that. Let's actually send it. And then lo and behold, what happens after all this? The first time I sent it, I got it first try. And I was really, really psyched on that. And I was like, okay, I think I won for today. I think I'm done. So thanks for joining me on my trip to Southern California. I hope maybe I can come back again next year, but we'll see what happens. But as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.